All right, everyone. Thank you for jumping on our Deal Talk call here today at 11 Capital Finance. We're going to get right into it. But every Wednesday here from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do what we call these Deal Talk calls, and we purely just like to go over anything commercial, aka investment property lending related. Anyone can join these calls. We always encourage our loan reps to jump on. Please pitch deals, ask any loan questions you want. I'll get you the answers right on the spot. As you can see, I always pull up our product sheet so we can go over rates and terms right on the spot as well. Just to reiterate some simple housekeeping, if anybody wants us to recommend a loan program to anybody, yourself, a client of yours, we just need a loan application. We are revamping our websites. We're in the process of doing that. And the website actually that everyone does want to go to apply for a loan on behalf of yourself or your client is actually www.11caplending.com. Evie let me know this week that all of our marketing is actually tied to that website, so it just makes more sense for everyone to go and apply there. And just remember, all you're going to do in the CRM, you're just going to enter that borrower's personal name, email, and phone number. And again, they're in the CRM under you, and then tell them to go and apply. So again, I'll just pull up a simple contact here real quick. You're just going to enter the borrower's name, email, phone number, contact type is borrower, and however the lead is. If it's IEP originated, it's your lead. If you're a BrokerBox client, just put BrokerBox in there. One thing I want to reiterate, if anybody ever needs anything, we need everyone to please email us. Everything here is tracked and in writing, so please shoot us an email, which, again, we track everything, which is why everything needs to be an email. It's also much more efficient to get back to everyone like that. And, again, you have your answer in writing that you can save forever. So I just want to give everyone our email. If you are part of one of our educational platforms here, one of our loan reps, you already know our email, obviously. You get emails from it. We send out our company directory every Monday, but I want to put it there for anyone that maybe didn't have a question to ask now, but if you have it later, just shoot us an email. We always get back to everyone within 48 hours. I always strive to get back to everyone within 24, but easier said than done. So that's our email. This is our website if anyone wants to apply for a loan. And again, if you're one of our loan reps here, thank you for jumping on. Again, just make sure your client's in the CRM so they're under you. You also want to go into the CRM to make sure that client's not already working with someone here. That it does happen. So if they are already working with someone, just put the borrower's name in the subject line and shoot an email into loans. I will handle it. The way we handle that is whatever rep, and as long as the rep is still active, has the borrower in the CRM first and is actively tracking things and dealing with the borrower, that's that rep's deal. But again, if there's a rep that's not active, sorry, I'm stuttering, and you find them and you are working with them, I can always easily, me and Evie have admin power to the CRM, so does Megan Kaiser. We can easily transfer that over to you. That's not a problem at all. So just to reiterate, I like to always let people know that the type of investment property loans here we do for 1 to 4 unit properties and anything zone commercial is ground-up construction, rehab, bridge, and permanent financing. And I have our product sheet actually broken up into those sections. We do send this out every Monday with our, company information email. That's how you would explain to someone what we do. It's really simple. We're commercial mortgage brokers. We set up the commercial mortgage financing for 1 to 4 units and investment properties for our clients. That's it. That being said, we have a lot of good training programs in Teachable that if you are a part of our platform, you have access to. One thing that is, learning this business, one thing that's very important is that when a client has a real lending need and doesn't. Yes, we work with a lot of banks and credit unions, but there's nothing stopping a borrower from going to their own bank or credit union themselves. So if they already have a great banking relationship and their bank's offering them a 7% right now, which is actually good right now, great. There's nothing for us to do. We actually have to put our money where our mouth is. We actually have to solve problems. So if someone has a lending problem, that's when they would, contact us, a mortgage broker, and step in. We would step in on their behalf in terms of the financing. Also, running a loan is a full-time thing. That's why we're your back lender placement support, processing and closing support. Dealing with all third parties, lender, borrower, processors, underwriters, appraisers, AMCs, title people, property insurance, lawyers, you get it. It's a lot of people to deal with. So I do sometimes have clients, I've been in this business 12 and a half years. I do have clients sometimes that they do have good banking relationships, but they work full time. They don't have full time to keep staying up on every single party to make sure everything comes together properly. And that really is the lender's job, just so everyone's aware. It really is their job to deal with all the third parties to bring something to a close, but I cannot tell you how many times lenders do not do that, and the deal falls apart, the borrower gets lost in the transaction, they don't know where it's at, so you need someone professionally keeping track of that for you and making sure all third parties are turning in the appropriate information in the time frame we need them to. And we have a great class in our training program about the commercial real estate lending process and all the steps to it. So that is a great class, too, that when people get a little frustrated with the process, that's a great class that I send to people as well. So, all right, we're in Q&A, so let's see if we have any questions. If we don't, I do have a little cool topic that we can talk about today. If you do have any questions, you dial it in by phone. You just hit *6. *6 gets you into the question queue. *6. Or if you use the link to dial in, that's great. You'll be able to see my screen. You can just hit, there's a phone button on there, or you can live chat us. I'm going to live chat everyone. So just so everyone knows, there is no question too small, no question too big. Don't feel weird if you just jumped into the business, which is why we always encourage people to jump on these calls, because I will fast track you to get you moving forward, making money. Simplest thing is, if you have a borrower that has a lending need, get them in the CRM, name, email, phone number, and get that loan application in. That's what I need to properly evaluate a loan, any type of investment property loan, because I need to understand all the numbers on it, and obviously what deal type is it? Is it permanent financing, rehab, bridge, ground construction, so that I can spit back proper lending terms to you. I'm very simple. I'm kind of like a calculator. If you put in the right numbers, I'll give back. If you put in the wrong numbers, I'm going to give you, and wrong information, I'm going to give you the wrong loan quote/offer back as well. So that's why I need a loan application, so I can properly assess everything. One thing I also want to point out, I know I do this on a regular, but I just want to keep harping on it. Our loan applications are golden. They are golden. It's been 12 years of working with hundreds of different commercial real estate lenders and closing with them and going through all types of crazy closings. And the way to properly present your loan, if you're a real estate investor, to a lender is with our loan applications. Our loan applications are universal. So if you go to our website, 11caplending.com, you fill out a loan application, you're going to receive a copy of it as well, because I'm going to respond and recap to you via email that's right below for you. You can use our loan application with any commercial real estate lender out there to get a loan offer, and it saves real estate investors so much time. It's inevitable. Again, instead of someone filling out 10 different loan applications, because that's what lenders do. They'll get on a call with you, listen to your spiel a little bit, and let you know, hey, this sounds like something we could do. I need a loan application. Well, you can fill out 10 different loan applications to get 10 different loan offers by 10 different lenders, or you can just fill out one of ours and use them with any lender you please. So I always tell people, please take advantage of our website, do that. And if when I email you back, if I email you back and your client, of course, if your client is in the CRM and you submit a loan application on behalf of them or have them do it, I will always email the borrower back. Plus, of course, I'll copy you. Everything's also copied and pasted in the CRM, so at any time you just type in your client's first and last name in the CRM, go in there, you can see all the communication, or you can read the emails, whatever works for you. We like to overdo it so that everyone's updated, but say I copied you on 20 emails that day about your loan and it's just too much for you, that's fine. You can just delete them. Just go into the CRM to see all the live feed. It's easier that way. But one thing else I wanted to point out is, if you are a client of yours is just using our loan applications just so you can properly present your loan to a lender, that's fine. When I email you back about the deal, and I always attach the product sheet, recommend the lending programs that would work, just let us know, hey, I just wanted a copy of the loan application so I could present it myself to lenders. No problem. But that is one thing where real estate investors get held up. They don't know a lot to present their loans properly to lenders. A lot of real estate investors on projects, as many of you have probably seen, will put together like a pitch deck, something like that, an offering memorandum. And, it's 20 pages. It's great. No lender has time to go through 20 pages. Believe me, they don't care. They need one page of all the proper stuff, all the numbers they need on the deal, of course, property address, what type of deal it is, and they also need to know everything about the sponsors, the members behind the entity. That's what they want to know very quickly, and that's why you'll see there's this disconnect in the industry where lenders become frustrated with borrowers because they can't get what they want from the borrower quickly, and the borrower feels like things are not moving forward quick enough with the lender because the borrower is actually not giving the lender all the information they need. So it's just a drastic miscommunication, and here at 11 Capital Finance, we are here to just condense that. We are condensing that to make everything move a lot quicker, everyone to share the appropriate information up front from day one so we can move forward quickly to a closing. And, of course, address all the issues we need to address in the loan application to make sure we're getting to closing. So, all right, let me see if I have any questions. Again, feel free to please cut me off, live chat me, hit *6, hit that phone button if you want as well to get into the question queue. All right, no questions. All right, so we had a great question today. And, again, I just want to reiterate, if you have a question, there's no problem in calling the main line. You certainly can. But Evie's going to tell you to write an email into the loans email so that Megan can answer your question. That's what she's going to tell you if it's a lending question. So it's just much simpler to do it. And if it's urgent, just mark it urgent. Or, of course, you can always call and just say, hey, Ev, this is urgent. I really need Megan to get back to me ASAP. I'll do everything in my power to get back to you ASAP. Just please keep in mind, I do train about 100 loan reps. I run and close loans every single week, so everyone's need is urgent. Everyone needed to close 2 days ago, but just gave me a loan application today. So, again, I will always strive to get back to you as quickly as I possibly can, always within 48 hours. But we had a great urgent question today. We have a loan rep that's working with a lender direct, which is fine. If you're part of our platform, one of our training platforms, and you don't want to use us to broker loans, even though if you are IAP, you do receive 50% of your own commissions, even if it's your own deal. I'll just refer you to the lender direct because you're a part of our platform, and you can work with them direct. Especially loans under $300,000. There's really not enough fee on them, so everyone will see the Monday update I send. If it's under $300,000, I will just refer you to lender direct because there's just not enough fee on it for the lender's fee, for a broker-like fee. If it's only a $3,000 fee being made, that means, it's 11 Capital is getting $1,500 and the IAP is getting $1,500. Then minus that small processing fee that comes off the top and goes to the processor. So it's just not a lot of money, and it would be better if for you, the rep, to just make the full $3,000 if that's what the fee is going to be. So we had an interesting question come in today, and we have a loan rep working with a lender direct that needs to create an entity so that the lender can pay them. a lot of lenders that you work with, commercial real estate lenders, just so everyone knows, they don't require, they can pay you personally in your personal name. They don't really care. They just need to submit you a W. And let me back up. The lender is not the one paying you. The title company is the one paying you. And this is why it's so important to understand the commercial real estate lending process and go over that training in our core training in Teachable. I also have a Word document that types out all the steps. You need to understand what party does what in a real estate transaction, when to contact who, when to jump, all that great stuff. But this lender wants to pay the borrower in the mortgage broker. I guess they want a W-9 from them because technically your fee agreement is being filed with the title company. The title company is issuing you payment. So the mortgage broker could get paid personally. I don't really know why the lender's doing this, but I wasn't part of the transaction. They still need to issue a W-9 at the end of the year to the mortgage broker. So they need to create an entity. Long story short. So they called in today saying, how do I create an entity? It's very easy, very, very, very easy. When you're part of our training platform, IEP, which stands for Independent Agent Program, what we do here is teach you to be the best darn mortgage broker you can possibly be, the best commercial mortgage broker you can possibly be. And you have access to a myriad of trainings, plus I am your back-end lender placement processing closing engine, and I do the business with you. Do the business with you. That is what sets us apart. We also have another platform that's called BrokerBox, and not only are you getting all the training from being an amazing mortgage broker, but we teach you how to run a business, how to run a commercial brokerage company. Two different concepts. One, it's more of a loan representative viewpoint on it. Other one is not just loan representative, but you're a boss, you're a business owner. There's a lot of things that need to be done to properly run a mortgage company like we do here. So if you're in BrokerBox, you have access to these documents. But if anyone wants a copy of this, just email me at Loans. Just let me know what you need. How to create an entity. You could put it in the subject line, throw it in the email. How to create an entity is very, very, very easy. And I'm going to pull up a bunch of documents for people. We'll go to a couple of websites as well. So let me start with the state's website. So I've created several entities over the years. It's not complicated. All the entities I've created have been a sole prop or an LLC. I've never created a corporation, but it's the same process. As long as it's a for-profit entity. As long as it's a for-profit entity, and that's all I'm talking about today. I'm not talking about creating a nonprofit entity. The process is very, very, very simple. So first you need to figure out what state you're going to register your business to, and most likely it's going to be the state that you're in. It should be connected to your business address, and your business address can be your home. That's okay. You don't need an office location, especially how remote the world is today, but I've been working remote, just so everyone knows, for 16-some years. Even though I've been in the mortgage business for 12 and a half, my first business I started when I was younger, I also worked mobily. So I always tell people, please don't go and pay for an office and all that stuff. It's just a waste of money. Let's just get some loan applications, close some deals, make some money, and you can decide what you're going to do with your money. I'm going to focus, though, for the sake of time, just on teaching you how to create an entity in the state of Pennsylvania. But if it was any state, you literally are just going to go to Google, and you're just going to go to that state's website. So I don't know why Google didn't pull up, but, it could be like, New York state website. And all the state websites always end in gov, period, G-O-V. So make sure you're always going to official government website. It always ends in gov. Sometimes when you look up state websites, you'll actually get other websites that come up, like this is the official state website, that don't end in gov, and people are trying to scam you and get you to fill out documents. And again, you're putting your social security number on these things, you're putting your home address. You don't want to be giving that information to just anyone, especially not someone that's, you know, maybe going to make you a victim of identity theft or something weird like that, and that unfortunately happens. So just because I'm from Pennsylvania, we're just going to go to Pennsylvania state website. If it will pull up. So what I always do when I'm going to create an entity, and I figured this out the hard way, you always want to go to the state website. In the state of Pennsylvania, it costs $125 to create a company. A lot of people will tell me, oh, I have to go hire a lawyer to create an entity, and this is going to cost thousands of dollars, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, you don't have to hire a lawyer for something like that. That lawyer will get it done in like 2 months for you. We need this done now. I always tell them, for $125, you can file an entity, a for-profit entity in the state of Pennsylvania. Your EIN document is free, which I'm going to show everyone how to do, and your operating agreement is free. So no, it's not thousands of dollars, it's $125 that we're talking about. Okay, so this is Pennsylvania's website to file a business entity. So what you're going to do is when you go to any state website, you're going to go to the search bar. Once you get to the official government website, you're going to go to the search bar, and you're going to what I usually search for is just you know, filing a business with the state. That's what I usually search for. File a business. And it will bring you to these links on any state website, just so you know. They all work the same. Obviously, some states are a little easier to use than others, but, you know, this is what you would do for Pennsylvania, and then you would just click right on here, file a business. Now, what you want to do, I'm sorry, I'm going to back up a little bit. Once you do that, there's a search button here. So what you want to do is you actually want to search for the business's name. Search for the business, before you file anything, search for the business's name, because you need to make sure that someone else doesn't own that entity, because that happens a lot. Of course, you're thinking of great marketing ideas and great names for your business, and then you go look up and you're like, somebody else has it. Darn it. But make sure you search and you find the name you want, make sure it's available, and then what you're going to go and do is you're going to go right to the IRS's website as well. You're going to go into the search bar and you're going to click EIN. Employer identification numbers. So you're going to start clicking on that, and there's also a way to search as well. That being said, I'm pretty sure based on like, I'm pretty sure, please don't quote me on this, but I've dealt with this before. So businesses can have the same you can have a very similar name, I believe, federally, because it's federal, but again, it's also backed by that state. So like someone may be like Dunkin' Donuts LLC of New York, but someone else could be Dunkin' Donuts LLC of PA. So I just recommend, from my personal experience, just searching for the names with your state website and with the federal government to make sure they're both available, and then to file for both of them. What else do I want to tell you guys? Okay, so I have a lot of documents that I'm also going to show everyone, but just so you know, applying for an EIN is free. You do need to apply for an EIN. For a business, you want to have your own EIN number. You don't want to be using your Social Security number. Your Social Security number is your personal number. Your business needs to have its own identification number. An EIN is pretty much a Social Security number for a business. They should be separate. There's all these great links in here about EINs. You lost or misplaced it. Anything you really need to know, apply for an EIN online. I've done this so many times. It's free. You fill out literally a one-page form, and you can download it right on the spot. It's just one page. It's very, very simple to do. I have a lot of documents, too, that we hand out to borrowers, of course, throughout the loan process if they need help creating an entity, because all of our clients have to close at an entity name. So this is how to obtain a tax identification letter. You can call as well. And this is a lot of times for how people can recover it if they lost it. Because people lose entity documents. I would just say, everyone, please back them up. Email a copy to yourself, multiple emails, put them in safe folders. Be smart, because you don't want to lose a copy of your entity documents because it's very hard to recover them. Obviously, you can. You just have to call the state, and you'd have to call the IRS, and you're going to be on the phone for hours. So just don't do that. So this is another document, too, where we give out to clients on how to get a file for their EIN. Again, I just showed everyone you go right to the website, you type in EIN, and it literally tells you right there how to file for the EIN. It's so easy. You're just going to enter your business name, your address, your social security number, what type of entity you are. Now, I can't advise anybody on what type of entity you want to set up. Myself have always set up LLCs. That's what I have done. That's what I was always taught. And, I mean, I work with thousands of real estate investors nationwide, and I see a lot of our real estate investors set up an LLC per transaction, per property. It's, all different LLCs. Sometimes people will create like a master LLC and do multiple deals with that one LLC. Again, I've just gotten a lot of advice over the years. I'm not a lawyer or an accountant, but I've just always been told be careful doing that, because if you have a tenant on one property and it's owned by the LLC and they slip and fall and sue the entity, that's going to lock up your other properties into a lawsuit. So that's the protection of having a company. They are suing the company, not you personally. Okay, so EIN, we went through that. That's pretty easy. With the state of Pennsylvania, and again, every single state website works like this. You're already going to search, make sure your business name is available, and then you're going to go and file and pay the fee. And again, you're just going to fill out really basic information. Again, it's always going to ask you your social, obviously your name, who's filing, business address, really simple stuff, basic stuff, basic stuff. And then it's going to take you to a spot where you can pay the $125 fee. Some of these state websites now, what they're doing is they make you create this portal where you can access all the entity docs you have filed through that state. It's a pain, and I'm so bad with usernames and passwords sometimes it drives me crazy, but just go through the portal steps. Hopefully you're more tech savvy than I am, and you can figure it out. But you should be able to do it. I do believe it gives you options to check out as a guest. If it really comes down to it, every state website does have a phone number. You can try to contact them. Good luck. You got to be on the phone for a while. But I've called the state of Pennsylvania several times. And I've actually gotten some really helpful people. I've called the IRS several times, and that's hit or miss. You get people that just can't verify anything with you, don't know what's going on, can't verify this. And I'm like, how do you work for the IRS? You have no idea what's going on. And then you'll get someone sometimes that is really great. So it's just hit or miss. Try to breathe. Okay, so let's get to an operating agreement. So if you're filing an LLC, you're going to create an operating agreement. If you were filing a corporation, it's called bylaws. They're both the same, not the same document, but the intention of them is to go over everyone's ownership of the company, all the members, and everyone's responsibilities in the company, so everyone knows what they're responsible for, and there's no conflict between company members. Even if you are a 100% member of your LLC or your corporation, again, those are like a for-profit corporation. Any commercial real estate lender is still going to ask you for an operating agreement proving you're a 100% member. And that is because that's the only document that goes over anyone's ownership percentage on a company. Your state articles you're going to file with your state, that doesn't ask who are the owners of the company. It asks who was the filing agent, the person filing, that's you, but it doesn't ask for people's ownership percentages. I think it should. Maybe some states do. The state of Pennsylvania doesn't ask that. Your EIN document you're going to file, also there's nowhere, it's just one little page that just goes over what the EIN name of the company is and the address. What the EIN number is, sorry, name of the company and company address. It doesn't state anyone's ownership percentages, which is why commercial real estate lenders always ask for operating agreements when it comes to an LLC. This is a blank template. Again, if anyone wants a copy of these entity documents, just email them to Loans. I'll get them to you within the next 48 hours. And literally, this is a blank copy. You could even search for example PA operating agreement for LLC, example Florida operating agreement for LLC, whatever you want to do. All this stuff is downloadable online. And since I've worked with, obviously, a lot of commercial real estate lenders for the past 12.5 years, I just ask them for examples of these things, what they give to their clients, and they'll just give me a copy of that. So if you are working with a lender, just ask them for a copy too. Some lenders you deal with, especially like banks and credit unions, sometimes they get a little weird giving out blank documents, especially entity documents, because they don't want it to be misconstrued as they're giving legal advice. But in their email, they can just state, here's examples for you. I'm not giving you legal advice. Save this email for your copy. So there's always a way around things, folks. You know, if a lender doesn't want to give something to you, there's ways you can word things with them to take the liability and the pressure off of them so that you can get what you need from them. You just need to know that's an option, which is why you have to deal with me, a commercial real estate mortgage professional that knows how to get around these obstacles and will avoid every landmine I see to get your deals closed. But this is simple. You just fill this out. Just fill it out. Answer all your stuff in here. And then at the bottom, like members, you know, you're going to obviously put your name, sign your name. And then this is the biggest part to an operating agreement. I can't tell you how many operating agreements I get, and nobody puts the members of a company or what anyone's ownership percentage is. And I'm like, why did you guys make this document? It doesn't help any of us. So you're going to list the members here and everyone's ownership percentage. Obviously, the ownership percentage needs to equal 100. I know. I've gotten operating agreements where the ownership percentage only equals like 90 or 80%. And I'm like, every company has 100% ownership, and everyone's ownership needs to add up to 100. So things you don't think you'd have to explain, but sometimes you do, and that's okay. All right, so if you did file a corporation, again, I have never filed a corporation before. I've never filed a nonprofit entity before, but a corporation would, of course, do state articles, EIN as well, and then you would do bylaws, which is your corporation version almost of an operating agreement. So I have example bylaws I can send to anyone. Again, just shoot me an email to the Loans email, loans@11caplending.com. I can get these things over to you. Again, just you make sure, these are just regular PDF documents that anyone, you can write on it as long as it's, people can clearly read it. You could type on it, whatever you want to do. Just make sure on operating agreements or bylaws at the bottom, now see this one actually doesn't have it. You have to make sure there's a section that has everyone's ownership shares. Again, just their name, ownership percentage. It could just say at the bottom, members and ownership shares. That's what this should say at the bottom. You could just literally write that in. It's not a big deal. So yes, you are able to create your own entity documents. A lot of people for some reason think they can't, which to me is like amazing. Like, you are the owner of the company. Who is telling you you can't? It's your company, you're financially responsible. Yes, you can create your own entity documents, and that's how easy it is to do. Now, when you're going through the commercial real estate loan process, if the entity is less than 90 days old, lenders are not going to ask you for a certificate of good standing. If the entity is over 90 days old, they want to see that you're in good standing with the state and paying your regular filing fees. So they're going to ask you for a certificate of good standing. You're just going to go to your state's website, and in the search bar, type in certificate of good standing, sometimes it's called a little bit something different from state to state, and I know it can get frustrating. I had a lender we were working with previously that said she had a list of all the different states and what it's called from state to state, but you can always call the state and just tell them, I need a certificate of good standing. Again, your borrowers are going to need this if their entity is over 90 days old and they're trying to close in that entity. But you'll see most of these documents will say certificate of good standing on them. Some of them say, it starts with an S. It's like another name for certificate. I'm not saying this right, like substantial certificate. I'd have to pull up some of the loans that I'm working on or have closed, and you can see it's kind of worded a little different from state to state. But here is just an example of one. Okay, so this document will literally say on it, and as of this date is in good standing. That's what it needs to say, and it will be dated. So most states call this a certificate of good standing. We abbreviate it as COBS, just stands for certificate of good standing. So that's it. That's how you create an entity. It's really that easy. I know it can seem you don't want that. So just make sure that entity name is legally the same. So example, if you use a comma, if you file, 11 Capital LLC with the state of Pennsylvania, your EIN needs to say 11 Capital, comma, LLC. Your operating agreement has to have that comma in it. I know it's very particular, but that is how lenders want to see it, and that's really how it's supposed to be done. You want to do it properly from day one. So just make sure if you capitalize the word or the whole entire entity name, it should be capital everywhere. Make sure it's exactly the same on every single document you file with every single government agency. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. That was my quick little training today on how to create an entity. And let me just see if anyone has any questions. If you do, again, you're just going to hit *6. Or you can live chat us a question. I might have a chat. Okay, no, that was just me. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it, and we'll be back here next Wednesday, and this will be in Teachable in the Money with Meg section. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Have a great day. Bye.